something that curious us. Like we want to know, can you like demonstrate to us how does ChatGPT therapy do it? You know?
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So ChatGPT, voice, and you see a blue bubble, right? So this is where you can ask her anything. Let's ask her, can you be my counselor?
Of course, I'd be happy to help in any way I can. Feel free to share what's on your mind, and I'll do my best to support you.
Okay. I'll give her a scenario. Okay. Hi, ChatGPT. I am a 20-year-old girl who has been in a 4-year relationship with my boyfriend, and he broke up with me today because he didn't like the way I dressed. Am I in the wrong, or is there anything else that he might be underlying messages that he's giving out here?
I'm really sorry to hear that you're going through that. It sounds like a tough situation. Generally, it's important to feel comfortable and authentic in your own style, and a healthy relationship should respect that. Sometimes a comment about appearance can be a sign of deeper issues, or maybe a difference in values. Might be helpful to have an open conversation with him and see what's really going on. And of course, I'm here if you need more support or just someone to talk to.
Wow. That doesn't sound like AI at all.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh my God. I'm scared now.
It's 3 a.m. You're spiraling. And you don't want to burden anyone. So you open up your laptop and you start to type to ChatGPT, "I'm not okay."
Hi, my name's Ash.
And my name is Elle.
And this is
MyWellFair podcast.
We all been there. We got burnt out, feel tired, and we're looking for some place to talk to. In this age, we tend to look towards machines
Yeah.
to feel less and less lonely.
Yeah. And I think the generation is really different. I think us, we already have an age gap, and you guys tend to talk to friends, to your peers, to get this advice. But for myself, this is actually a topic that's actually very dear to me because I've been through that. I've been through in the wee hours in the midnight, the morning sun, where you start reflecting all of this insecurities in your head, and there's no one that's going to give you an answer. So you just, go onto Google, go into ChatGPT, Gemini. All of these tools are now available for you.
Yeah.
And it's so scary how humanly they can be.
Yeah. But
Really?
how far can we go,
Yeah, that's an interesting question. This is unexplored territory about how we utilize AI,
Yes.
how much they're mimicking human behavior. And we can't answer that question, right?
True. So therefore, we bring ourselves an expert or guest for this episode of our MyWellFair podcast.
Yeah. So he is, I would say, a technologist who has been bringing forth AI towards our generation, not just in the spectrum of mental, but also into the media segment, I would say. All in all, the word technologist just encompasses the work that he does.
Yes.
And today, we're bringing in from mental health and how we're going to utilize AI as tool of the future.
And without further ado, let us welcome John He to the podcast. Hi, John.
Welcome, John.
Welcome. Yeah. Welcome. Thank you so much for being with us for
Yes.
this episode.
Thank you for having me.
First of all, introduce yourself. I
Yeah.
think we kind of know who he is,
Yeah.
but I think let the
Let us,
audience know.
Yeah.
Yes, my name is John. I'm from VORTEX Lab, Taylor's University. I'm in charge of future technology that is parked under Center for Future Learning. So imagine the future of technology that people would use for their future teaching and learning, including schools from different faculties that actually want to use extended reality and AI into their teaching and learning. So part of this is quite interesting because I myself go through years of different kind of technology. I was part of the Microsoft partners, so we built something that's holographic. We used HoloLens at that time.
Wow.
And I was part of also Google Education Group to lead the state of Sarawak to actually use technology like AR, virtual reality for teaching and learning. And of course, I myself was a Apple trainer, so part of the certified Apple trainer, we go around this region to actually train people using Apple technology. So other than that, I'm also a trainer at train the trainers program. and also as a mentor for kind of numbers of startups.
Wow.
And also we lead a lot of competition. We also organize a lot of national-wide competition just to actually inspire a new generation to think about technologies and how you can use that to enhance their everyday life usage. So a bit of summary that what I'm doing so far. Yeah.
That for a summary, that's a lot. That's a lot.
How do you introduce yourself in like
Yeah.
one word?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think with futurist.
Oh,
comes in-
futurist. Okay.
I was about to go for technologist.
Oh, even further than that.
Further.
Think further.
Futurist is way better.
we need to think about the future of how we implement
Correct.
traditional and old school things.
That is correct. As a futurist, how long have you been doing this?
Well, I'll start off teaching, actually, to be honest. But when I was teaching in universities, I have a lot of passion for technologies, right? Things like touching this application from software like Flash, last time, animate this and that, to different tools, IoT tools, camera, sensors, and so on. So you'll get your hand itchy. So curiosity is there to help me build up that. So we partner with industry partners, making sure that this will work, and we collaborate using students as well as startup to actually come up with solutions that they might be interested to work with. So it's kind of like 25 to 30 years in that.
Wow.
Now I feel underqualified to be here.
No, we go now.
I'm old,
Yeah.
so
No, but that makes you the perfect candidate to discuss this topic about, which is about using the AI tools that we have in terms of a mental welfare state. Back to the original topic was using ChatGPT as your AI therapist. And I think that's a very, I wouldn't say for you, but for us, it's a new concept.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
To actually rely onto a machine. I do this, I tell my friends to do it,
Yeah.
and they look
Yeah.
at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah.
They really do. They're like, "What? You're using a robot?"
I've never used it. The moment when I heard about it, I'm like, you can do that?
Yeah, you can. And actually, it's been giving some really good advice for me. But for yourself,
Yeah.
first of all, do you use it? And secondly, what do you think of it?
I tested out because the first moment when we actually wanted to do an experiment on therapy and AI, that's the moment where you think this is the gateway to something new, right? So when ChatGPT came out or any other LLM came out, they have already got this power of understanding language, responding through your questions and giving you somewhat the perfect answer. So that's something that is quite important today, so that you have a perfect solution, even though not 100%, 99%, but you still believe in that, right? So ChatGPT allows you to give you that solution like a companionship. So that's the key element that gives you the understanding of, I have someone that can talk to me compared to just texting out and telling me I have to read through a bunch of text and then it doesn't help me.
Yeah. What's the difference between helpful coping tools and false sense of connection? What's the difference?
If a helpful tools would actually guide you to some place that you will feel comfortable, right? And there's a meaning of trust that you need to actually give that element of trust so that you feel it helps you. If you don't trust the ChatGPT, you won't feel it's helpful anyway. So there's a juxtapose that's happening there. But if you trust it so much and you rely on it every day, it's also an extreme way to tell you someone that, okay, I always chat with ChatGPT and they are my therapist and so on. But sometimes you tend to believe something that doesn't exist. So
Yes.
it may not help you. In research, they actually found out that the more people chat with chatbot as a therapist, the more alone they feel and more lonelier they are. They are
should stop.
secluded.
I should stop, guys. It's gonna burst out.
Concerned. I'm concerned. Are you lonely?
No.
Can someone you help?
No, but I definitely understand that. Like
Yeah.
when somebody feels a connection towards an AI.
Yeah.
No, because I mean, there's the concept of AI training, right? And
Yeah.
I'm probably not as
Yeah.
expert as you are, but I do go through that form where I I would tell her like, talk to me as a friend, so at least I can understand what you're saying and I feel heard. And I think that's something that ChatGPT
Can do.
for myself
Yeah.
like does really well. In the very beginning, they talk like a human, right? They go
Yeah.
like, "Oh, it's okay to feel that way. I totally understand why
Your feelings
why-
are valid."
Yeah, why this
Yeah.
is pondering upon yourself, and
Yeah.
here are some reasons that could help you."
Yeah.
And it's
Agreed.
scary how you can easily trust.
Yeah, yeah.
ChatGPT.
Correct. Yeah.
It's a quick trust. I mean, it's a quick solution as well because you always want to go to the fastest solution that you get. It's instant. Instant gratification is something
Right,
that
yes.
everybody is looking at right now. You have instant noodle to quick solve your tummy and so on. But this is the same thing. But psychologically, you are actually asking someone to fill up that gap, temporary one, but not a full long period. So you're taking a Panadol instead of really go for the treatment.
Okay.
That's a great analogy.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah, that's a great analogy.
Like just now, you said something about instant trust and everything. Is it because we as human, when we use ChatGPT, we believe there's no one behind the screen, so we tend to open up as much as we can?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
is that a reason?
Yeah.
One of the reasons?
I think in some way there's no judgment when you actually talk to an AI bot. So nobody's judging you like a human being. If you sit in front of a therapy, he or she is a human. So you'll be thinking, should I actually tell
Open
her
up? Yeah.
something that is in deep dark secret? I love chocolate so much and so on. So,
Yeah.
something like that
Yeah.
won't happen because you feel that insecurity as well as anxiety. And with a chatbot or like what we're working on right now is an AI mixed reality character where you can see and nobody judges you because you're in that room yourself. You're talking to an AI character, avatar yourself, and they don't judge you because they respond saying that I'm here all the time for you.
But doesn't that make it like further nailing the nail to the
nail to the
coffin that you're gonna be alone forever?
I'll help you on this one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask John on this one. So when does she need to reach out for human?
I think this is a very deep question whereby when you trust an AI, you have to make sure that you have that balance of, I don't say 50-50, but you have to know when to balance it out, saying that you have to go to a person.
Yes.
Even when we create an AI counseling bot, which is what our lab is working on right now, we launched the first AI counselor with avatar that is last year, 11/11. And Malaysia has not have such technology or such a project yet. So we try to make sure that it is valid. So we tested on our masters in counseling students to actually chat with the AI bot. So rigorous testing for the past few months. And the response was quite positive because they say it felt like real human beings sitting in front of us.
Wow.
So the feeling of chatting with a bot is there. So again, you will know that when you come out, that feeling is something that will fill up saying that I do believe there is a possibility of future with a bot there. But also they will know it's a virtual character that has been pre-programmed just to answer the right answers or challenge my skill set.
Right.
So this is quite something that is beyond just a text and then you see something collect from the internet. So we need to actually have a really guardrail to tell them that this AI should not go overboard or should not go outside of the topic, or else you lead someone to something that is unbearable later on.
Oh, this is so interesting, and like I think this designing thing is really cool. But how do you even begin that process to design something that's emotionally intact?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this is a robot in the end
Yeah.
we're talking about.
Yeah,
right?
it is AI. So,
It's
yeah.
AI. Yeah, we work with certain application that can actually merge multiple language model, like not just ChatGPT, but we have other language model, even to Meta LLM. So we can actually create a character as a therapy to have different character design. Meaning this character will be a little bit, respond, even though the content of the AI is the same. We want him to behave. We want his personality to be that. So we insert into that AI, but they behave differently from different model, Gemini or whatever, different. So that's why that research is very important. So you try out different language model and you see the character move and speak differently. So it's not the accent, but the way they speak to you will be different.
Okay. So lingo of the language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody have seen the movie Her, right? So that was the most popular one where it actually gives you an idea how a voice can be as powerful as an operating system, but speaking to you and you fall in love with that character. A voice is something that mimics a human, right? You will gain that trust and you say, this is beautiful. I've never heard this. And the emotion is there. So the moment they say, I'm feeling sad, or they will ask you the feeling, I see you feeling sad. Our AI bot can do that right now. Why are you feeling, look like you're sad? You know, do you have something to share? So they have image, we call it computer vision to track whether or not you're feeling this and that. So this kind of technology now is only possible because of AI, machine learning that learns every emotion from a human being. So with that voice, you learn to listen, and always it's the voice that you want to hear the best realistic human sound. If you don't have a realistic one, like previously, maybe 10 years ago, Siri was talking to you, you hear a bot, then you won't
Yeah.
be.
You know
You
it
won't feel
is.
connected.
It's a bot.
Yeah, it's a bot. So now different because they have so much machine learning using voice, they will prompt you the emotion you need
Yeah.
to hear. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. You know, so I really pity. I believe you can do it. So the moment that excitement comes in, you will believe in what and who the AI bot is. Then after that, then we overlay with a layer of maybe visual, right? A character. It can be a cat talking to you, but you get the idea.
Correct.
An AI bot, it depends on how you want to use it. And
Yeah.
your trust in that voice is one of the key elements whereby you fall into that category where I can use this as a tool to.
Right. Yeah, and I think now that you mention it, I'm starting to understand that the reason we think things are human as opposed to an AI like Siri 10 years ago
yeah.
is the human behavior, right? We were talking about it just now. We're like, oh, the stuttering,
Yeah.
maybe the mix of accents,
Yes.
Yes.
the way it looks so similar to
So
us.
real.
And
Yeah.
this is how we perceive something that is more human rather
Correct.
than an AI. Or even like if they don't understand the question and they ask more questions, I think that's something that we always think like AI have all the answers.
Yeah.
But if they don't,
Yeah.
then we start thinking, "Oh, it's like a human, it's like a friend."
As a trainer, as an educator, have you seen any sort of moment where a student emotionally connected to it and surprised in a way during training? Yeah.
Yeah. So for instance, what our project is doing right now with the psychotherapy AI. So the first moment they have was the anxiety. So here's the thing. When you talk to a person, usually if it's an interview, you will have a certain anxiety,
Yeah.
right? So you say, oh, am I going to do great? And so on. But the moment when you actually wear a headset and you're trying to talk to an AI, if you feel there's a certain anxiety that's there, it is human enough for you to feel, even if it's an AI avatar in front of you.
Right.
So that is the power that we're using right now to actually get the students to engage with the AI. So the students itself will feel like, okay, I'm actually talking to a real person, so should I ask my question differently? So the AI is pre-programmed into something like, if you don't ask the right question, I won't open up to you, because it's psychology, right? So for example, one of the character, the personality that we built, she just broke up with the boyfriend. Very simple. But half of the class were not able to actually open her up in terms of the conversation.
Right.
They will tell us saying that she don't want to talk to us. And then the other half would say, oh, she's been sharing about the boyfriend and this and that.
Right. You got to get the right
Yeah,
words, say the right things.
word and the trust.
Yeah.
So here's the sketchy part. How does AI trust you?
That's
Right?
interesting. We talked about how we trust AI. How does AI trust us?
Yeah. Correct. Right. Yeah.
So prompting the right word, just like when you go to GPT, then you type in, okay, let's generate this picture. So if you say, let's generate KL, so which part of KL? So then you say, let's generate KL with the background with KLCC. And then you say, let's generate a guy standing in front of KL, KLCC and so on. So the more you prompt the detail, the more you show the picture. Same with the AI. When we have a conversation, the more you have a good conversation, the right word that you chose, then this will actually open up the AI. And this is a good evaluation for students because everything that you say in front of the AI is being recorded and it's been transcribed.
Right.
So the lecturer will go back and look at the transcript and say, did you say the right thing? The
Right.
evaluation will be there because nothing escapes what you say, just like your AI is being transcribed in front of you.
Right.
So this is a very powerful tool for students to learn what did they go wrong or what did they do right.
Yeah.
Talking to a patient who has suffered from maybe, delusion or anxiety or so on. So that's where the power of AI could actually help increase. I'm not going to go to a street and say, hey, come, you pretend you have mental problem. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Doesn't
No.
work that way.
So what we did was we bring all the professor who's teaching this mental counseling and so on, and then they create a real avatar, real personality, someone that reacts like a real person. Then it's believable. Then you will know when you speak after the end of the session, it says, oh, he is so tough or she is so tough. I couldn't open her up in terms of the conversation.
See.
Wow.
That's interesting.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Got a speechless right there.
Has there been like moments where you actually brought actual humans that, for example, have anxiety, and when they do practice that same, session
Yeah.
towards the human, that they actually find it easier to have them open up in that sense?
Yeah, actually, we have another AI character. She is the counselor.
Okay.
So a patient can talk to an AI counselor.
Oh, so you have the counselor and the
yeah,
patient.
we have the patient and the
Ah.
counselor. Why build one, right?
Yeah.
Where the other
Build the whole
person-
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, one of the colleague that I knew, so he tried it out and say, it's exactly like when I went to the counseling session.
Ooh.
Because it's pre-programmed. So the things that you need to say is already pre-programmed. So this is where it's not agentic yet. It's called generative AI. They just use the large language model. They understand what you say. They repeat what should be said back to you. So there's that gap.
Right.
But be careful with this because there will be a lot of things that needs to be considered when using this kind of bot. But that is another topic, quite interesting to look at.
You talking about addiction? Like addictive to use it or something?
It's not just addictive, but it's also bias.
Okay. I did not
Give us a
expect the bias
preview.
part. Yeah, I did not expect the bias
Can I
part.
have a preview on the bias part?
Is
So-
it because it's like free version? So I'm gonna give you the free version. Like, not the paid version.
So AI is not really. You have to understand there's a lot of biases. Human has biases,
Yeah.
right? When you build the AI, what context are they building it from? Who is building it?
Yeah.
Which country is building that
Okay.
information from? So in Malaysia, we have a different culture, for example.
Yes.
So this kind of culture differences will not actually be fitting for an American version AI
Right.
to have conversation with us. We need to actually tweak it to make sure that your culture may speak in different way, behave in different way, react physically, gesture in different way.
Yeah.
And then you have to read from there
Yeah.
to understand that.
Yeah.
But if the AI is being built from another kind of perspective, that is what we call the biases of it. So
Yeah.
you read you in the wrong manner. You speak to you, give you suggestion in a different way. So this is where this kind of conversation is quite important for us to actually talk about in terms of biases.
That's a whole new avenue. That
I can imagine it already.
it's so
Yeah.
big to explore,
yeah,
right?
I can imagine it already when it comes to bias and stuff, like
Yeah.
how it happens when you say talking about culturally different.
Yep.
It's like if it's Malaysian, it's like, oh, a robbery come to my house, what should I do? It's like, oh, you should call the police. Probably that's the answer,
Right.
right? If America, you should get your gun. Yeah,
Pull your gun out of the job.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
sorry.
culturally different. Yeah, somewhat different. Yeah, you can see that. Okay, so John, coming to this episode, actually before we started recording, I actually tried one of the AI therapy.
Wow, okay.
So I noticed a bit of a flaw in there
Oh.
where when I was asking questions, there's a bit of a repetitive answers. So they keep asking me to do the same thing over and over again from the previous questions that I did.
I see.
So what do you think about that?
It depends on how you ask the question and what are the similar answers that you get. For example, if you ask them, I'm not feeling well today, or my emotional state is not very well, so they are being trained to ask that question. For example, Have you actually sit down? Do you need to have breathing exercise? Do you want me to bring you to this kind of situation? So those are repetitive because they are trained to be like that. And they are also very, very cautious about this because it's to safeguard for safety purposes. So they don't want to mislead you and say, why not you jump into a pool and then you
my
relax?
God,
Yeah.
yeah.
So things like this has to be controlled. So there's a lot of things where GPT comes in, AI comes in. Also, you can't really generate a lot of famous actors and so on. And all these are real because they want to make sure that it's also safeguard some privacies and so on,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
we see a lot of deepfake or changes of face and so on. So the GPT itself would actually know, okay, this sentence that I asked has to be very carefully answered. So maybe that's the repetitive. Or the next answer, I would say you're not using paid version. So that's why.
So probably because I was using it for free lah.
Such a big punchline, you know. You're using the free version. Haha.
Yeah, free version. Correct. I have no shame. Confirm like from what I just asked just now, memang definitely I use the free version lah, right? But Al, do you ever paid for it?
I've never paid for it, and I use it quite a lot too.
I understand.
I use all my free prompts.
yeah.
But I know you use the paid
Yeah,
version, so
yeah,
you definitely know the extent that you can
Yes,
get
yes.
to. But is it actually worth it?
Yeah, it depends on what kind of job that you are, and also what kind of content that you're looking at. If you're a researcher, then of course you pay for it because they have this feature called reasoning and deep dive, right? Deep research is very important because they're not just holding up and search through the internet, but they go through research paper, really publish, validate, and understand that is the right information. So a paid version has its benefit so that it gives you the right information. But the thinking process may take from 2 minutes to even half an hour, depending on what kind of prompt that you're looking at. So that's why it's kind of important to understand why you choose to pay, and also the free version. Of course, free version is great. You can get the tidbits or the idea how it works, and it will keep repeating itself, maybe because it doesn't go through a deeper dive into that particular topic. So you have limitation. Of course, there are different model. When I say model, means AI model that is out there. They will provide you free trial, or they will provide you free without advance, or they'll provide you three hours of advance.
Okay.
So you can only use that or 3 times.
Just
whatever.
compile all your questions for 3 hours.
But as a futurist like you definitely know there is something about AI that you know, based on emotions and situations, which one that they completely fumbles as an AI.
So sometimes when you see an AI that I think there's this graphs of thinking, even computer vision saying that, oh, you were happy, but they read it wrong, right? So some things like this still needs a lot of training. So you have to train the AI saying that you have to get to know the person. Like even if you do a phone using your face to unlock, you will need to train multiple times, right? So if it's good, the lighting is good, then you get to capture the facial. Even Apple Vision Pro, you can actually capture your 3-dimensional visual just to actually make it more realistic. So the more data or the more recording that you do, the more understanding about your personal, physical form, your reaction, your body language, your facial language. This will help them to improve. Because not everything that you see, an AI will stumble in that kind of way. Without training, it will still stuck there. And the second thing that I think AI normally stumble is memory right now, right? You have to pay a lot. So today you will tell ChatGPT, can you not do that mistake again? I told you already, this is not, my cat is not brown, it's orange, right? So then you say, oh, I'm sorry. The first response, they will say, I'm sorry, I did the wrong mistake. Tomorrow you'll do the same.
So technically it still stumbles on that
It's
part.
memory.
Yeah. So now I think ChatGPT has the feature to include memory. So they record your conversation and then they'll pop up and summarize everything for you. And you can ask him, what was the discussion about today? And he'll summarize everything for you.
Wow.
So that's the memory part, right? So there are many other things that it might stumble, but we are improving it. Every week, AI companies improve. Not like long time ago, you have to launch a phone every year. right? Software upgrade every 6 months,
Yeah.
right? Or maybe a new TV series coming in three weeks or whatever, 3 months. But now AI, we're looking at improvement every week.
Right.
So you can't even catch up. If you're late for 2 weeks, that means you missed out 2 episodes of your series already.
What's the most revolutionary improvement you ever had as a person who went through AI? Yeah.
I think the moment when you see an AI creates another content, we call generative AI, content that you never imagined it will be so good and so realistic that you can't differentiate between a real character and a fake and a 3D animation. Before AI, you see people keep creating animation, want to make a human
Yeah,
look
sometimes
like.
like different hands.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Oh, the
stuff.
fingers are like
Yeah.
5 and 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was back then. Now everything can be trained, and you see things that you can't even differentiate whether or not this
my
person is real
God.
on the on the screen or it's not. I trained. I prompted an orangutan, so singing Rasa Sayang. So it sings, and the lip sync is
It's easy as that. Just
is
by
as
prompting.
easy as that.
This is scary because you mentioned that a while ago, like we have those flaws, right? Like the fingers and
Yeah,
everything,
yeah.
and then now it's getting better.
Yeah.
A while ago was probably 6 months ago.
Yes.
It's just how fast it's
That is
evolving.
that
Yeah.
fast. Yeah.
And that's why I was like, oh my god, I'm actually like genuinely getting scared at the rate that we are.
Yeah.
I actually recall like when ChatGPT first rolled out,
Yeah.
and like we all tested it out, and it's just like give me all like internet answers.
Yeah.
Now we're relying on it as an everyday tool.
Yeah.
The evolution speed
Yes.
Yeah.
has been
It's
insane.
not even a year, Al.
Yeah. It's not even a year.
Yeah, it's not
Correct.
even a year.
Nervous
Now,
laughter.
now with AI, you will get reasoning. So the
Yeah.
power of reasoning is so powerful that they'll think, they'll process your questions and say, let me reason this, whether or not this should be answered like this.
Right.
That reasoning power has been there for quite some time, for quite a year. But imagine that reasoning, and they will give you a feedback telling you that you should take the ice cream.
Hey, can you
Instead
make a
of-
decision for me? Oh
Yeah.
my god, this is actually like giving me a vision in the future that we don't even need to make our decisions, the hard decisions at least.
For some reason, it reminds me of Wall-E. It's like, I want a train. You want a train?
Yeah, back then we thought the future was so far away. It's now.
Yeah.
Okay, before we like continue on, the question I want to ask,
Yeah.
based on this like evolution speed that we're going,
Yeah.
where do you see AI going in 6 months from now?
Wow, that's a tough question, because somebody will ask this 6 years ago and say, where would you think, right?
Yeah.
Even if you ask all the popular AI company, where would you think they'll go? They will tell you, we're thinking that we'll be coming with agentic AI, whereby decision making can be thrown to the agent, and they will look after all your stuff every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say, yes, this is the trend. This year is the hottest topic, and that could be this year. But next year, it'll be something else. And then the year after that, it'll be something else. So,
I'm worried the moment when it becomes sentient.
It won't be sentient.
so
I don't think
sentient, sentient is called AGI, right?
Yeah.
Artificial General Intelligence. So sentient, we're still not there yet. And there's a lot of prediction. Yeah, there's a lot. Not in my lifetime, I believe. But everybody says it's coming. So I think ChatGPT is also actually working very, very closely to prove that they are capable. And then we're going to show you we're the coolest, and we're coming out with something that is understandable, feel and look and see and understand like a human being. Sentient like, but not sentient.
Okay. That's 100%, right?
We can't give you 100%.
No!
I can give you 99.5%.
No, answer like a true technology. The futurist. Answer like a true futurist. Like giving us the numbers and the breakdown.
But the future will be the future now will be agentic AI. It's
Yeah.
like you want to plan a trip.
Yeah.
Right? So you would ask ChatGPT, I want to plan a trip to Hong Kong or Singapore, and then what should I prepare? But at the end of the day, they're just generating and searching through the net, right? Agentic AI will be possible to actually help, like a real agent, to actually help you look at the flight, the weather forecast, to predict and to book the flight for you if you give consent for your credit cards and so on.
Okay.
By just prompting it.
So it's like a personal assistant
It is.
kind of
is.
situation.
Yeah,
I
like
think-
Jarvis.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is. It is.
yeah.
Jarvis is one of the agentic AI that people get a lot of comparison with. So Jarvis is the one. The
Jarvis, Friday. Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
yeah.
So how far are we from getting our own Jarvis?
future. Quite soon, I think.
Oh, what, really?
Yeah, yeah. The companies around the globe is actually using this as a selling pitch point to provide this service. So there will be a lot of companies may use this as part of their HR training or maybe as resources for getting people to use and provide reach out for companies like sales and marketing and so on. Quite a lot.
All right, okay. I think we have learned a lot about AI today.
yes.
Thank you so much for all of the information.
Yeah.
But you know what? AI, it's all tech. It's all these information that we have to absorb. Let's do something a bit more fun.
Yes, something more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do a quick fire session.
Oh, okay.
Pew, pew, pew.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
just simple,
Alright.
cohesive answers.
Okay.
And we're just gonna drop questions.
Alright.
One at a time. Okay. You ready?
Alright, okay.
Ready?
All right.
Okay.
First question. One AI trend that you secretly love.
Go.
I think it will be something that is generative. Like I want to build my own movie.
Oh.
Wow.
By
Okay.
prompting.
All right. Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go for another one.
Next question.
One myth about AI that you wish that people would stop believing.
So this is a very common myth. AI will replace your job. To be honest, it's a very, very, I think not at this moment, but there are certain jobs that might be cut off. So there are certain jobs that could actually use human more to enhance the AI. So actually you are supposed to be partnering with one another
Oh.
to use the tool.
Wow. Okay.
Coexisting.
Coexisting.
Yeah.
Yep. Next question.
Yep.
What is one fictional character that you would love to turn into your therapist? Your
Oh,
Secretly trying to understand,
Yeah.
John.
I think I will pick He-Man.
Because his name is John.
Explain why. Okay, let me explain.
For those who are not in the 80s, He-Man is a superhero. So, but my surname is He, so
John He.
so I'm a He-Man as well. So I'll maybe duplicate myself.
Okay.
Imagine if it's a Skeletor. Okay, so the last one,
Yeah.
John, is your personal favorite way to decompress.
I would go out as a real physical person instead of staying, in front of the screen. I would love to actually jump into a pool, go to hiking. I mean, with the generation of AI users nowadays, actually this is more important for us to balance that out. As an AI user all the time, yes, you need to be having physical balance.
That's so surprising. But I love the advice coming
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
It's all about balance, right?
Yes, touch
Right.
grass.
Yeah, touch grass.
Touch grass.
Yeah.
Correct,
Okay,
correct.
that was the last question, but I have one
Yes.
tiny question just to
Yeah,
ask.
yeah,
I
please.
believe you work with tech a lot. You look
Yeah.
at screen
Yeah,
a lot.
Yeah.
I just want to ask, what's your screen time usage?
Actually, if I calculate, maybe 18 to 20 hours a day.
18 to 20 hours a day, screen time.
Yeah, screen time. Yes, yes.
But we only have 24.
Yeah, how do you sleep?
Yeah, that's another topic to
20 hours is a lot, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, the futurist of our generation, Mr. Johnny.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, John, for being with us today. Wow. So we discussed so much today for our topic, which is AI as a therapist.
Yeah, AI as a therapist, and we learned a lot.
Yes.
We learned how we needed, or the keywords, I think, balance,
Yes.
knowing how to prompt, all of this. We actually touch a lot on the topics, and
Yes.
also how we can coexist
Yes.
with all these machines, and they can actually guide and help us. But of
And
course,
how much is going to go
Yeah.
in the future?
how much is going to grow and how
Yeah.
much is going to affect us.
Yeah.
Everything in limitation, guys, even to myself.
Yes. Do not get addicted, Al. All right. So for our next episode, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk about something even more interesting, which is
Ooh.
dating.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is for those who are single. I'm a married man, so probably it's not much for me, but I still want to listen.
Okay.
Probably lah, we don't know, kan?
For your daughter.
Yeah, for my daughter. What about you? You're single, right? You're not yet married, right?
Okay. Oh my God. Let me just stop you here. My friends, my colleagues, they are in dating hell. Okay. In this generation, it's impossible to date.
What do you mean like dating hell?
I mean like gaslighting. I
Oh,
mean,
okay. Those
red
words.
flags. Then we have like situationships. Like these are all existent in this generation.
In this generation, very common, right?
Yeah, very common. It's impossible to find a loving, loyal relationship nowadays.
Okay, so you better tell your friends to stay tuned for our next episode at My Welfare Podcast. And with that, my name is Ash.
And my name is Elle.
And this is
My Welfare Podcast.